as all you guys followers know, I do have 3 daughters. We're real busy with them and everything, so I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a lot of fun, but that's not actually where my screen name came from. It is In Debt for Kids. The main reason it started in July of 2000. Let's see, you guys probably noticed tattoos on me at some point in time. There you go. Hopefully that's showing up. The feet look weird in the camera, but hopefully they're showing up. Christopher Patrick, July 2nd, 2000. He was my first son born. He was born premature and was a little beyond a miscarriage, but basically a miscarriage. He lived for about 5 minutes and that was it. So my wife and I, we had no clue. I'd never even heard those words before, so I didn't even know what happened. It wasn't until about a week later that I realized what truly happened. So that was our first experience with pregnancy. And then a little over a year later, this one here, see David Joseph. Hopefully it's showing up. 11/21/2001. He was my second son born. We actually think he may have been a twin, and we may have lost a twin earlier, but he was born premature. He lived for about an hour or two and then passed on. So those are actually my oldest kids. And then I think my beard's in the way. You see this, my rocker that's tattooed right here is actually the GPS coordinates where the boys' ashes are spread. That's where I want my ashes spread. But Christopher happened real quick. We didn't even know what was going on. David was a whole other story. My wife was on bed rest the entire time. She spent almost a month in the hospital trying. They were doing everything they could to try and keep the pregnancy going. So I missed a lot of work in November that year. This was on Thanksgiving. So when I said yesterday I don't care for Thanksgiving, that's one of the reasons. The other reason I don't care for Thanksgiving much is my grandfather, who this truck originally belonged to, that bought in 1956, he died on Thanksgiving Day in 1984. So Thanksgiving is not a big holiday for me, and I hate making a downer of a video, but I said I'd say where my name came from. So after David, the next year we got a different internet service provider, and it was time to come up with a new screen name. Oddly enough, my first and last name were already taken as a email address. So I needed to come up with something else, and I had friends that had, In Debt for Toys, In Debt for Bikes, In Debt for Trucks, and that kind of stuff. And we were still trying to recover from all the time because I'm still the sole income in my house. My wife, she went back to work a little while after that, but we were still trying to recover from taking almost a month off in November, and then a bunch of other assorted days to take her to specialist appointments and all that kind of stuff. So I missed a lot of work that year, and we didn't have any kids per se at the time, so we didn't, it was just us, so we were all right. But when they did that, I thought, I'm going to put In Debt for Kids. And so I did. And then that was in 2002. We decided to take that year off and try and, square things away, come to peace with what happened. I don't think you ever truly do. But the next year, which was 2003, we decided we'd give it a shot again. And that's one thing we never had a problem with. We thought about getting pregnant. She was pregnant. That was always the way it worked with us. So in 2003, it was just before Valentine's weekend. She took a pregnancy test, found out she was pregnant. We were hell excited. We actually went camping Valentine's weekend, and it was some of the worst rain we've ever had. We were in a tent that we didn't know leaked. It leaked. We were our sleeping bags were full of water. She was pregnant. Had probably been drinking, so I slept a little better, but it was a fun trip. It's funny now. It sucked at the time, but so that was a couple weeks in, and then we finally, because of our issues in the past, we basically had appointments every week, and we had ultrasounds almost every week. So we were only about 9 weeks along when we found out we were having twins. And we went into the doctor's office. The technician lady, I can't remember what they're called, had the thing on Kathy's stomach, was checking it out, and she says, "Do you see what I see?" And when she said that, I could see 2 heartbeats. And I said, "Holy shit, is that twins?" Those were my exact quote. And she said, "Yeah." And so after that, the fact that she got pregnant with twins jacked the stress factor up immensely. We didn't use anything to get to help. No drugs or anything like that. That's just the way it worked out. So I missed a lot of work during that time, just helping taking her appointments, and she couldn't work because of the pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. So my In Debt for Kids just kind of made more sense then. I didn't even realize that was what was going to happen. But anyway, that pregnancy went awesome. She didn't have any problems besides the fact she was carrying multiples, and she's real petite, so it was kind of funny. She's 5'2", about 98 pounds, and she had this big old belly of twins. It was kind of comical. But that pregnancy went fine. We had them. Katie and Emily were born. They kicked them out of they went into intensive care because they were a little bit early, not real early because they were twins, but they're a little bit early. They're having a little tough time breathing, but nothing major. So they actually got kicked out of the neonatal intensive care unit because they were too noisy and too vivacious, as the nurse said. So we came home, or they went into the room with Kathy. She was there for 3 days or 4 days, I think. And I got the house ready and that kind of stuff. And then we actually came home a couple days. She came home a couple days before the kids came home. And then they came home. But then the next one was 2003. We decided a couple years later we maybe try one more time, maybe have another boy. At that point in time we really didn't care. We were hoping for a healthy, but the twins pregnancy went so well, so we thought, we'll do it again. And so in 2006, it was summertime. I remember that must have been June or July. She's pregnant again. That pregnancy went amazing also, no problems at all. But one thing we didn't find out what the baby was. We waited that whole 40 weeks, and she went damn near 40 weeks too with that one, no problems whatsoever. And we didn't find out what we were going to have until the day that Olivia came out, and that was it. But when we had Katie and Emily, Emily was 4 pounds 11 ounces, Katie was 5 pounds 7 ounces, so they're itty bitty babies. And then Olivia was 8 pounds 10 ounces, so we had no idea what a baby could look like that wasn't either premature like our boys or twins and premature like our girls. And it was pretty crazy. But I remember we were in the operating room, because it's a cesarean section, and they were pulling Olivia out, and blood and gore stuff doesn't really bother me. I was excited to watch. And the female doctor was pulling Olivia out, and she's coming out butt first. And the nurse said, "Oh, we got a little toe head," which, most of you know that means a blonde. Well, all we could see was her butt. And I remember it coming out. I remember saying that I'm not a doctor, but I think that's her butt, because I'm a bit of a smart ass. But anyway, I didn't mean this video at all to be a downer. I have 3 beautiful, healthy daughters now, and that's all that matters. I don't take my kids for granted ever, and nobody else should. I've buried 2 sons. I don't hope to bury any more of my kids. I hope to be in my ashes spread before they have to do that. I hope they have to spread my ashes, not the other way around. But anyway, I almost made the video on July 2nd when Christopher's birthday / death day was, but I didn't feel comfortable enough. Now, this whole YouTube thing, Garage Gang thing, is a pretty cool community. There's a lot of support out there and everything else, and I'm not looking for any sympathy or anything like that. We've come to terms with it, so we're good. But I wouldn't have made it through without my wife, without a doubt. That she's truly my rock. So she was the one that kept me going. And of course, my parents, my brother, and my sister, they helped out a lot too. But my wife was the support I needed. I went through some tough times, but it's all good now. I'm as sane as the rest of everybody else, I guess. Maybe a little not. I don't know. But anyway, that's my screen name story. This will probably be the most difficult video I've made so far. But it's kind of one of those things. It doesn't bother me to talk about them now. Today's a little rough on me. Today's anniversary. David would have been 12 today, so that's a little. Every year around this time, my insomnia kicks in pretty heavy, and I have had serious problems with that in the past, but I've kind of got over them now. But every year around this time I have insomnia problems and just kind of general depression and sometimes some attitude problems. So I try to keep myself as happy as possible and as busy as possible and not let my brain run wild. Once it runs wild, then I have some issues. But anyway, I thought I'd share my story, a little more of my background. As I said before, I could not be happier with my daughters at all. I have no hard feelings of not having a son to be out here in the garage with me. As you guys have seen that have watched my videos, my girls are out here helping with me, and you know, nothing wrong with tomboys at all. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go see if I can get this loaded up. I do have my little tripod on this thing. Excuse me, I don't want to. Whoa, wrong way. There we go. So last night, turn this around so I can see what I'm looking at. There we go. Last night I cut these out, got them kind of fitted there. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a little more thinking how exactly I'm gonna do it, but I got a pretty good idea what's going on. I do like this camera. I do dig it. Everybody else seems to like it. Somebody asked how many horsepower my motor in here was. It's a whopping 6.5. Got tired of tripping over the thing, so I threw it in there. But you know, overall that thing sucks. Anyway, I'll be back out here probably on Sunday. I'm fighting a cold today, so hopefully. Ooh, jeez, you don't want to see that much gray beard. Trying to get used to this little tripod deal here. Let's see if we move it this way. Sorry about the shaky cam and stuff, guys. No, I'll just hold it. Anyway, so I got Saturday we're busy, and then I got Sunday. Probably be out here Sunday. If not, go over and work on my brother's truck a little bit. I'll take you guys with me. Field trips to my brother's house are some of my most watched videos, so that's cool. I think it's real cool. It's giving him motivation too. So he's a good guy. He's pretty much my best friend outside of my wife. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now before I keep talking all night long. So you guys all be good. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend's almost here. But thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. You guys be good.